Umaji, you mentioned one really important thing when you were speaking, which is the idea that Hinduism's concept of dharma, which is more nuanced, is contextual, can help reduce differences and frictions in today's society, as opposed to a model that believes in black and white, especially given how much affective polarization there's been in the US. Treating others as black or as white is not really helpful in reducing that polarization. So what are some other models that exist within Hindu Dharma that can help us solve some of the most pressing challenges that exist within the world globally? Because I think this is an important point that we often don't think about, is that social justice exists as Induji articulated, as you all articulated, as a model and as the model really of doing social good. So how can we offer alternatives to that that are beneficial not only to the general community, but also within our own community? We see so many younger people gravitating towards social good, which in the end has a tendency to also cannibalize Hindu Dharma in many ways. So what is the alternative that we can offer that will benefit not just, again, the community at large, but also our own community and the generations that are yet to come?
I mean, I think one, it's a really great question, and I would say it's an ongoing question for us too. It's an inquiry. I think a lot of it is actually putting that question out there, is like, if we want to find ourselves stepping out of this polarity that we find ourselves stuck in, that we find ourselves entrenching ourselves in, it actually takes a great deal of that inner work, that inner lens in. I mean, that is the Hindu practice as well, is what am I doing? What can I let go of? What emotions are going on within me? So that ability to actually take that inward stroke that is part of our path, is part of our tradition, is, I think, one of the most important first steps. And I think this is the part that makes it distinct from, I think, in a lot of cases, the way that a Western paradigm might approach is, oh, there's a problem, there's a symptom, let me fix it. Whereas we try to get underneath and understand the whole in a different way. We start off by asking, how am I contributing to the problem? We're not just deciding I am inherently, because my intention is good, I am inherently doing good with every action that I take. And that ability to have that self-referral and have that muscle built of, first, let me actually look inward, understand my inner environment, that then gives me the ability to more truly perceive what's going on around me, to be able to potentially see different possibilities, different pathways there. And I think this is where it is both a frame, it's a lens that we bring to things, but it also requires practice. This is the importance of actually the yogic practices that we have, the rituals that we have that actually allow us to step out of, sometimes it actually takes stepping out of the conflict, going and actually immersing ourselves in some other environment, whether it's our internal environment doing something physiological to kind of move us down a different path. It could sometimes have to do with making an offering, having that space to be able to have surrender suddenly can open us up and out of a particular conflict as well. This other piece of, we started off by, I think a number of us said namaste, like this very concept that there is divinity inside of you, even though, and because even I so greatly disagree with everything that you stand for, everything that you do, and yet I cannot deny the fact that you are also me, that we actually are the same being, and I can honor that. And that alone, that sense of honor for the other being, can allow us to kind of dissolve and put the arms down a little bit as well. And so I think when I think about young people, so a lot of my time when I was teaching with Art of Living was actually working with a lot of young people. And I would say it was young people who were Hindu, who grew up Hindu, who were coming back home to some degree to the kind of the principles and the practices that, for whatever reason, because of the conditions that we are finding ourselves in the ways that Hinduism was understood, it was sort of a need to kind of re-strengthen some of those ties and to feel a sense of like, wow, there is some really good stuff that exists like within our own tradition. Let's honor it, and let's have it be, as Indu, you were saying, be joyful, be a celebration. That is actually a really important part of what strengthens those ties for us, is that it should actually be fun and like maybe even a little cool to be Hindu, to be holding on to some of this, and then to be able to have that modeling, those connection points. And I think that is actually the power. And it's so interesting to me that we're all coming from these guru traditions as well, is to be able to have others who are seeking, who are on these paths, to be able to be those mentors and role models for young people to kind of navigate and make some of these choices as well.